Not only home to world-class thoroughbred racing, we've got the ducks out in the infield pond at Belmont Park. Plenty of green, plenty of blue skies on this Thursday afternoon. Final Thursday of racing, day number 56 of the spring summer meet. Glad you're settled in with us here on MSG Plus. Jason Blewett, Richard Migliori, a good 3, 4 stories, 5 stories above the finish line at Belmont Park as the waning days and we march forward, all of us, to closing day this coming Sunday.
Well, only 4 racing days left here. Not long before we'll all make that trek up north. And you spoke of ducks in the infield. Well, the one place you don't want to get a duck is Saratoga.
Yeah, no kidding. And Saratoga on the tip of everybody's tongue. We're just 8 days away. We hope everybody wins at least one race up there concerning trainers and jockeys. And Saratoga really, I mean, that's at the forefront of everybody's mind as we come down to the wire here during this historic Belmont Park summer meet in which we saw a Triple Crown winner about a month and a half ago in the form of American Pharaoh, who's, speaking of the mighty American Pharaoh, pretty cool that Delmar's in action today as they kick off their extended 40-day summer meet.
Yeah, they get started just a little bit in front of us. They have a couple more days, but they also have 2 days off a week. They only race 5 days a week. Great place to spend the summer. I would prefer to spend the summers in Saratoga, but if you've only done one, you should try the other because they're both unique and they're both great.
Now, Saratoga, for all its uniqueness and many facets, 2-year-olds come to mind. Is that one of your favorite sort of categories in all of Saratoga each and every summer?
Absolutely. Hope springs eternal with the 2-year-olds. And I think from going back when I was a kid to some of the great horses we've seen, and we've got a couple up there, Easy Goer, Devil's Bag, Uncle Mo, a personal favorite, Macho Uno, Lemon Drop Kid, who actually beat me with a horse that John Kimmel's called Arrested. And John was a little bit upset with me. And I said, John, we couldn't beat that horse. It was 10 lengths back to the 3rd horse. And a Lemon Drop Kid, of course, going on to be a champion.
Belmont Stakes, a Travers won the Futurity. I think he picked off or wore down Yes It's True, who was a monster favorite here as a 2-year-old in the fall for D. Wayne Lucas. A Lemon Drop Kid has become sort of a landmark stallion. He has really passed on his talents to future generations. And what's going to happen this summer with the 2-year-olds? The 2-year-old scene at Belmont, to be fair, we had a couple of stakes right around Belmont Stakes time. Pretty quiet for the most part, but I think it'll be immediate, it will be sudden, and it will be felt off the bat. The floodgates will open up as soon as we get upstate.
Well, I think everybody puts so much importance on winning in Saratoga. They're trying to hoard their good 2-year-olds to get off to that big start up in Saratoga, and everybody wants to make their mark there. Winning one in Saratoga is like winning 2 or 3 anyplace else. But that's one of my favorite things, the 2-year-olds, and who knows, you may see a champion on any given day up there.
2-year-old fillies are in the spotlight on that opening day, Friday, July 24th program in the history-rich Schuylerville, a long, extensive list of impressive winners, and we look forward to the Schuylerville on opening day at the Spa. How about jockeys? Deepest colony in the country. That's been the case the last few summers upstate.
Yeah.
So much to choose from. And how about a young bug rider trying to make an impact in the toughest jockey colony in all of the U.S.?
Well, we have the usual suspects, obviously great riders, headed by Hall of Famer Johnny Velasquez, Javier Castellano, Joel Rosario, Junior Alvarado is riding here. There's just so many top riders. But apprentices usually struggle in Saratoga. I think this year Eric Cancel has an opportunity to make a big impact. He's a terrific young rider. He's built to be a jockey. You just got to look at the way he sits on a horse, and you know he was meant for the saddle. And I love the fact that he's got none other than the king of Saratoga in his corner, Angel Cordero. And he truly is the king of Saratoga. Mary Lou Whitney actually gave him a crown many years back, commemorating him as the king of Saratoga. And you know what else? He's got another rider in his corner as well. Literally, jockey Nick Santagata, a fan favorite, one of the hardest riding guys I ever rode with, is his valet. So he's got a valet in his corner. He's got an agent, you know, that was the greatest rider, potentially, or arguably, I should say, the greatest rider of all time. Eric Cancel, he might have to make some noise in Saratoga.
Nonstop advice. I guess you're you know, as far as giving him a heads up, or your one little positive to him might just be keep your ears open and your mouth closed,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. Keep your eyes and ears open and your mouth shut. That's good advice for anybody trying to learn anything. The person talking is not the person learning.
All right. Well, speaking of talking, you caught up with trainer Brian Lynch, and we have a deep training colony up there, the best of the best. Perennial leading trainer Todd Pletcher, of course, will be stocked, and he will go head-and-head once again, and that was a subplot in today's 6th race alongside trainer Chad Brown. They seem like the big two going in.
Yeah, they are the big great, too. But, you know, you have Hall of Fame trainers like Shug McGahee, Bill Mott up there. George Weaver always seems to point his horses for the meet. It's loaded up there. But Brian Lynch is a guy who's had success shipping in, but now he's actually got a stable based here.
Now a familiar face, a guy who used to ship in, take the money, and hit the road. Well, the MIG caught up with Brian Lynch, who was in the paddock earlier today, in fact, before the 6th race.
This is the first year that you're actually keeping a string in New York. You've had great success shipping in. How do you find it having horses stabled here?
Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy meet. You've got to bring the right horses and be prepared to lose a few and have plenty to replace them. But we're feeling it out, and hopefully we can close it off with a little bit of a bang, and it won't be a bad meet.
Now, you've got horses up in Canada, horses in Delaware, and horses here. How many horses do you have in total, and how do you find it being spread out like that?
Yeah, I'm a guy that's rather keep them all under one roof, but I've got great staff up there in Canada and Delaware. There's not a lot in Delaware. We've got about 65, 70 all up.
And how many are you going to bring up to Saratoga?
I'm going to primarily base myself here because I got that many 2-year-olds, but we took 10 stalls there, and we'll just rotate them in and out.
And I'll put you on the spot. You said you got a lot of 2-year-olds. Is there anyone that maybe the people out there can keep an eye out for?
Yeah, there's a few of them in the process. There's a little horse by the name of Hornerman, and there's a handful of them there. I'll keep you up to speed as we go along, Rich.
Well, best of luck up there, and welcome addition to New York racing.
Thank you very much.
Hot off the press, perhaps having some 2-year-olds that may pop at a price. They bet Todd, they bet Shug, they bet a few other guys. Brian Lynch, maybe not so much a household name with New York horse players, and I like that going forward.
Well, I think he might fly under the radar, particularly in the 2-year-old scene in Saratoga. But I could tell his body language. He kind of lit up when I brought up the 2-year-olds, and he only said one name, but I think he's a guy that I keep an eye on up there. And I said it and I meant it. I think he's a very welcome addition to New York racing, and a gentleman. He was very gracious to do that interview.
Everybody wants to be with the winner. He's picked up horses for the Ammermans. He's picked up some horses for the Stronach stable. And he was an action trader, Brian Lynch was, against a few other top trainers, including Todd Pletcher, Chad Brown, and Shug McGahee in today's 6th race. That's where we start on day number 56. Larry Comas will have the call. Fillies and Mares ring in the opening race on this Thursday edition of Insider as we send it down to the Belmont Park backstretch.
And they're all in line. They're off. Moon Medal came out well. Mei Ling, Divine Praises, Delightful Joy to the outside. They're all out for the lead. Then Brazilian Symphony. And Path was just a step slow to begin and is 4.5 lengths off of Divine Praises, who's taken the lead up the backstretch. Mei Ling is alongside in second. And then it's Moon Medal just to the outside of them, running in third. Behind them, Brazilian Symphony and Delightful Joy. And Path is 4 lengths from the front after a 23 and 2 opening quarter mile. So Divine Praises and Junior Alvarado lead the field as they head toward the far turn. Mei Ling is second on the outside, now just a half length behind. And then comes Moon Medal running in third, followed by Delightful Joy outside of Brazilian Symphony and Path down toward the rail. Around the far turn, Divine Praises and Mei Ling through a 46 and 4 half-mile, and now their noses apart on the lead, and Mei Ling pokes a neck in front. Divine Praises back into second. Delightful Joy is third. Moon Medal is right there in contention. Just 2 lengths off the lead, fourth, and they've left the other 2 behind. Path and Brazilian Symphony. They're coming toward the top of the stretch. Mei Ling and Delightful Joy, and they turn for home together. Delightful Joy pokes ahead in front. Mei Ling battles on from the inside. Moon Medal is now 4 lengths behind them, and the top 2 are putting on a show now. Delightful Joy and Mei Ling. Mei Ling keeps on battling. Delightful Joy's got a neck in front, though. Delightful Joy, Mei Ling. Delightful Joy did it. Mei Ling second best today, and then came Moon Medal and Path.
And Larry nailed it. A good battle down to the wire between the winner of this race, Delightful Joy, and the runner-up, Mei Ling. And you know, Mig, looking at the connections and who was involved on the jockeys and trainers side, there'll be more where this came from.
Yeah, I think this is just a prelude to what we're going to see quite a bit of in Saratoga. Chad Brown and Todd Pletcher, Javier Castellano, Johnny Velasquez duking it out to the wire. And so far this meet, Todd Fletcher, and he will wind up leading trainer here, has gotten Chad's measure. But does that make Chad a little stronger going into Saratoga? Because you can't count on all of Todd's horses coming back with those winning efforts. They've got to step up in company when they win, either from a maiden race to another condition. So it'll be interesting. Although I'm sure Chad has reinforcements, as does Todd.
Right, and Todd's got the 2-year-olds up there, but Chad's also got the turf. And he is well represented, whether you're talking about maiden races, allowance races, stakes, overnight stakes on the turf. He has got at least one to fit just about every high-quality turf race you would want to have run up at Saratoga.
I would imagine Chad has his TV set on the Weather Channel, because weather plays a big part in those turf races.
All right, fair enough. Tappan Philly getting it done for Sheep Pond Partners. Their second win this week. Had one yesterday with Rudy. Pretty much triggered our one-day carryover. We'll see if anybody hit the pick 6. A lot more coming your way. Main track, turf, and Larry Colmus. How about this view over Belmont Park? From Big Sandy to the Widener to the Inner, looking down the stretch. Just under 1,200 feet off the quarter pole to the finish line on the main track at Belmont Park. And we see the plaques commemorating the Triple Crown champions. That has been a Belmont Park tradition for as long as I can remember. Unlike years past, it's no longer 11, my friend. We've got 12 out there.
We got an even dozen, and we like that. And speaking of things we like, opening day at Saratoga.
An even number up there, 40 racing days. Friday, July 24th will be that opening day program. We're ringing the meet with the Schuylerville for 2-year-old fillies and the Lake George for the 3-year-old fillies on the turf. Ticketmaster.com. No finer place to be than Saratoga in the month of August and late July.
Well, yeah, of course we like it. Actually, we like it. We're into the first week of September this year. Labor Day a little late. I felt like one of those parachuters on Belmont Day with that graphic coming down, didn't you? I mean,
pretty cool.
It seemed like a ride, you know?
It did seem like a ride. Just a different perspective here at Belmont. We try to cover all the angles on Insider. And let's move on to race number 2. Early pick 4 gets underway with the arched windows and the ivy walls in the background on a gorgeous, fast and firm afternoon. Let's send it back upstairs to Larry Colmus.
They're off. More That Lily had a great start. Sprints away to a 2-length advantage in an instant. And then it's Feisty Lulabelle and Seaside Schiller in a break of another 3 lengths more. Back to Daisy Creek and Fly Girl to the inside. And then it's Fooled by Magic and Bet It All with Paul. Crazy Catwoman is next, and the trailer is Warriors Diva. More That Lily, who just flew out of the gate, leads the field into the far turn in front, ran 1/4 in 23 seconds flat, and is in front by 2 lengths. On the inside, it's Seaside Schiller. Feisty Lulabelle now moves up alongside, takes second, and Seaside Schiller is back running in third. Daisy Creek is fourth and moving on the outside. Fly Girl in hand behind them, fifth by another 3.5. And then it's Fooled by Magic and Crazy Catwoman, who's making progress on the inside, but is 7 lengths behind as they come to the top of the stretch. Seaside Schiller on the outside takes over the lead. More That Lily is next. To the outside, Fly Girl is gaining ground. With a furlong to run, it's between Seaside Schiller and Fly Girl, and Seaside Schiller's in front. Fly Girl second to the outside, a long way back to More That Lily. It's going to be Seaside Schiller. Fly Girl was second, More That Lily third, and then Crazy Catwoman.
I think I've seen Mr. Mig in these silks before, the blue and white. This is Timber Bay Farm, if I'm not mistaken, and a homebred. I know you rode the sire and got along pretty well with the Marty Schiller. Go back to his win here in the BC Mile back in 05. He was some racehorse, and he's got a precocious 2-year-old in Seaside Schiller.
Well, I'll go back a little bit further to 2003. On this date, July 16th, Marty Schiller won his first start.
Wow.
6 furlongs on the turf. So here we are 12 years later, and he's got a daughter getting it done. So pretty good stuff there.
For Michael Matz, who doesn't really crank up his 2-year-olds, and maybe that bodes well for Seaside Schiller going forward, and I think a positive. He skipped over Delaware Park, with all due respect, peace and love, and got this filly up to Belmont Park for the winner's share of 75 G's, and a picture-perfect ride on a perfect weather day by Luis Saez.
Now, we've seen this time and again. Luis Saez seems to be excelling on the turf course, and I think quietly has put together a really nice meet here at Belmont.
Final Thursday, race 5. Finality in the air when they broke from the gate. It was the back end of the pick 5 and early pick 4 as well. We'll see Luis Saez in action a bit later in the program, and let's see what Larry and the group in this race had in store.
Pinata Cat is going to the front. Wonder Brew, Forensic is there, and Gigi's Kitten to the outside. And moving up on the far outside is Elated as they race on that first turn. Then it's Taunt Zoe. Mighty Catherine trails the field as Pinata Cat takes command early onto the backstretch. Pinata Cat the leader by a length and a half. Gigi's Kitten is up running in second. Elated third to the outside. Wonder Brew is fourth down toward the rail. Then Forensic in fifth. 4.5 lengths off the lead at this stage of the race. Mighty Catherine and Taunt Zoe. 24 and 4 was the first quarter mile. Up the backstretch, and Pinata Cat and Trevor McCarthy lead the way. They're on top a half a length. Gigi's Kitten kept close second on the outside, and then it's Elated outside of Wonder Brew, and they're lined up right behind. And then Forensic in fifth. Forensic 4 lengths to make up at this stage, and then comes Mighty Catherine and Taunt Zoe on the inside. 50 and 1 the first half mile for Pinata Cat, who now carries her speed into the far turn, and Gigi's Kitten's a half length off of her. Then it's Elated, followed by Wonder Brew to the inside and Forensic. And then Taunt Zoe and Mighty Catherine. And Pinata Cat and Gigi's Kitten are right together now. These two coming to the top of the stretch, and Elated is just to the outside. Losing the rider there was Forensic. Forensic has lost the jockey as the field comes into the stretch. It is Gigi's Kitten in front. Now Gigi's Kitten is the leader. On the outside is Elated. Pinata Cat is down toward the inside. But as they come into the final 16th, it is Gigi's Kitten. Gigi's Kitten and Junior Alvarado will win. It's going to be Elated second. And then it was Pinata Cat and Taunt Zoe.
Forensic obviously lost Jose Loscano at the top of the stretch. Jose was okay, bounced up, took off his only remaining mount. We hope he's back with us here tomorrow. Forensic was okay, had the blanket on her, and walked off the track alongside trainer Shug McGahee. Let's talk about the winner, though, Gigi's Kitten, who topped a Kitten's Joy Exacta in race number 5.
Yeah, and I think this is an angle you can look for all year, but particularly heading to Saratoga. Belmont's horses seem to improve with a start every single time, and this filly really improved. And Junior Alvarado contributing another good ride, another guy who's put together a real strong Belmont meet.
Up on the engine, 3 wide, stalked in the clear. Glad Forensic's okay, and we'll move on to race number 1. In fact, here comes the highlight package, 1 through 9, from 1:20 to about 5:30, and a pick 6 carryover up for grabs. Let's see what happened.
And here's Shock Leader on the outside of them. And these three have taken over. And change of command is dropped back to 4th. Neo Classic is 5th. A furlong to run. And now it's Holy Invader and Shock Leader, and they'll decide it. Holy Invader on the inside. Shock Leader on the outside. It's going to be Holy Invader by a neck over Shock Leader, then Countryman and Neo Classic. And Married to the Music a length in front. Scarly Charlie is second, and they've left Tenango 4 lengths behind, and now he's being ridden for more as they come to the top of the stretch. A 46 flat half mile. They're into the stretch, and it's Married to the Music and Scarly Charlie, and these two come down to the 8th pole together. Married to the Music holding on to the lead. Scarly Charlie moves up alongside, and it's down to these two. They're well clear of the others. Married to the Music and Scarly Charlie. Scarly Charlie's going to get there in the last strides. Married to the Music was second best, and then came Lucky Lotto and Tenango, passed now by Spider Roll and Bossman, and then it's King Congrats as Brasiliano leads the way as they come toward the top of the stretch. Third Frontier, a big long shot, hangs in there, second on the outside. As they come to the top of the lane, Yakov is third, and on the far outside, it is Duck's Dock, and they're coming into the final furlong, and Brasiliano has opened up 2.5. Yakov is now second. Spider Roll's making late progress on the inside, and Bossman and Third Frontier are next as they come past the 16th pole. Brasiliano, and here comes Spider Roll. Spider Roll up the rail to beat Brasiliano. Then Yakov and Bossman. And Broughton Kitten at the back of the field. Coming toward the top of the stretch. 3/4 in 1:11 and 4. And Value Tempo on the outside turns for home with Ulysses right alongside. Value Tempo and Ulysses come into the final furlong together. And then it's Jumpin' Frack Flash and Talbot County closing on the outside. After that, it's Let's Wrap It Up. They're into the final 16th, and here comes Talbot County. Talbot County on the outside. Goes by the front runners late. And Talbot County did it over Ulysses. Then it was Value Tempo and Jumpin' Frack Flash. 6 flat for a half mile. And these two turn for home. 1-2, Escape to the Moon and Regal Minister. And to the outside, here's Mighty Zealous and Long for the City's in it too. In a tight spot between horses. Then out Vagabundo on the inside in 5th. Final furlong. Mighty Zealous, Long for the City and Regal Minister. It's Mighty Zealous in front. Long for the City making a race of it though. These two are going to come down to the line, and Long for the City got up inside of Mighty Zealous, and then it was Regal Minister and Native Hero. Rain and Angel Cruz have taken the lead on the outside. Rain turns for home in front. Egyptian Magic into second. And Stormy Allison is back to third on the inside. It's Rain coming into the final furlong. On the outside is Egyptian Magic. These two are well clear of the others. Into third is Mama's Red Hat. It is Rain and Egyptian Magic. Mama's Red Hat third. It's going to be Rain. Egyptian Magic second, and then Mama's Red Hat and Ballerina's Image.
Well, Rain reigns supreme in the nightcap. Angel Cruz and Jimmy Jerkins. And Angel Cruz, another youngster, much like the Ortiz boys, not as established on this circuit. What does he have to do in Saratoga his first summer up there?
Work. You're there for one reason. You're there to work. You're not like your normal 18 to 22-year-old who's going to be out on Caroline Street. You need to be on the backstretch first thing in the morning. You want trainers to see you at the crack of dawn, and you want to be there all day and show them how hungry you are. I think Angel Cruz gets that.
All right. Concerning getting to the barn, Mike Hushin, and that's been the news. He's been getting to the barn to train just about every day, and we're happy about that. And Mike made the chalk players happy today as we take a second look at the Thursday feature. $85,000 the person. There's 3 other than, and Scarly Charlie, despite being on a hard chase, just would not be denied.
He would not go away. And when Mike Hushin's able to get to the barn, and great news that he is, there is no better trainer on the grounds than Mike Hushin. And not because we're friends, because I had the pleasure of riding for him, and I know how he gets horses ready.
Yep.
Using Eric Cancel here. Good to see Mike not only getting out to the barn, but in the winner's circle.
And there you go, double carryover. Nobody alive going into Thursday's last. 72 Gs, 2 times the carryover, 120 the Friday post. And we'll see what happens here tomorrow afternoon. The forecast looks good. And things will heat up in the jockey standings, or at least the Belmont Jockey Colony going forward in the final 3 days. Now, Angel Arroyo won a pair today, but you've got Irad Ortiz returning from a 3-day suspension tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I guess did it work out to be actually 3 days? I guess Wednesday, Thursday. No, actually,
did he ride Sunday?
Well, he didn't ride Sunday, even though he was named on horses.
Right.
And they allowed him to start the suspension, and so basically, essentially, it was 3 days that he served. And but Javier's got the momentum now.
Indeed, he does. 52-52. Todd Pletcher trying to break the record of this meet of 44. We'll see if he can do it over the final 29 races. Chad Brown walked away with the win today. How about claims? A number of horses have been dropping down and taking sharp, precipitous drops. I would imagine people trying to free up a stall going forward, and upstate to Saratoga. 3 claims on the afternoon.
Yeah, get some shipping money. Shock leader, a good second in the opener.
And Ulysses was second, not the Bob Perez Ulysses of the mid-90s. A new one by Street Cry, claimed by Eddie Keneally. Mig and I are back with the Friday preview. High above Belmont Park, will be closer to the ground when the field breaks from the gate in Friday's 5th race. Second leg in the $72,000 Pick 6 carryover. We mentioned Macho Uno at the top, a former 2-year-old champion who was unveiled at Saratoga. He's got a consistent little New York-bred turf filly in the form of Graham Crackers.
Yeah, Graham Crackers, hard trying. Her best race to date. Last time when she was just beaten late, going 7 furlongs, gets 6 furlongs, gets Junior Alvarado for Rick Violet and Mr. and Mrs. Evans, the owner breeder. I think it's probably a lot more satisfying when you've bred one and raised it and see it get to the races.
And maybe Upstart. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Hope to see him at the Spa. Zamrat, second time back this year for Rick Violet. And second time out is the angle with C to Cat. This effort was unbelievable. He's the number 9. She's the number 9. Here she comes in those white blinkers.
C to Cat never could win this race until she got up and won this race. You've got to think with the experience, she's going to break a little better. She'll get a little better position. And if she can improve just a little bit off of this ridiculously good effort, she's got to be tough.
5 wide every step of the way. Yeah. I've never seen a horse win with that trip that she pulled. I know you did her on chips and traps.
No, yeah, to be that wide and get up and win and be on the hard chase the way she was wide, I think she's got a lot of improvement in her, but she gets a wide draw again, so does she get the same trip?
Yeah, I don't know if you're getting the 12-1 on the line. We'll see what she does for Joe Sharp. Race number 8, Clutching at Straws. Will she improve second time out in this country? Pulled basically an inside trip, had no run against a good field.
Yeah, and you know what? They went so slow. How much run could she have? They're sprinting home in front of her. She did good to even get involved, and I got to think she's going to improve off of this race. You got to think she's going to break better. She's got an advantageous inside post. I think Clutching at Straws has got a big chance tomorrow.
2 for Chad, 2 for Todd, 2 for Christophe Clement in race number 8. And here's the other Clement filly, the state bred Viva Malala, who steps up in good form.
Viva Malala undefeated on the turf. You like when a horse breaks her maiden, steps right up against winners and wins again. I think she'll be a little bit more forwardly placed probably than her stablemate. You know, she has the ability to get some position. Viva Malala, another horse that seems like she's on a improving curve.
And the Chad Brown trained fillies both go from the outside, post 7 and 8. Here's a look at Stella Street, who is last actually in the picture. We'll show you the start, which is what you really want to see. She didn't put up any run in this race back in the Wait a While on May 16th, but this was a race she was 4-1 in her stateside debut, and it all went wrong out of the gate.
Yeah, and you see a lot of horses come from Europe. They don't break well. Here you can see she kind of ducked in, hit the gate pretty hard, and then kind of swung out. She's ringing her tail, almost like it annoyed her that she hit the gate so hard. The only thing I question, it's hard to quantify how much that takes out of them when they hit the gate that hard, but she had such a good setup in front of her because she actually got real pace. But you can see she did give up a lot of ground at the break.
Blinkers will go on. She'll be dropping out of the Wait a While. That's produced a couple of next out winners in Celestine. I know a filly you like who's trained by Belmont, and Lady Shipman, who's been a turf sprinting terror down at the Mid-Atlantic. Good group of 3-year-old fillies in the 8th race, which will have a post time right around 5 p.m. and getting to work much earlier than 5 p.m. In fact, during trading hours, and staying at Belmont all day is Maggie Wolfendale, who's standing by with the Friday preview.
Thanks, guys. Well, I hope this microphone isn't as distracting to you as it is to me for this Paddock Insider. A little clashing with my outfit there, but who cares, you know. But looking at tomorrow's card, it's Friday, and I'm going to focus in on race number 6. It's a New York bred maiden special weight, and it's for the boys, and it's going 6 furlongs on the turf. A guy who's coming off of a layoff and getting his hooves on the turf for the first time is number 3 in here, Maroc, for trainer Bobby Barbera, who reaches out to Johnny Velasquez. You don't often see that, so I like that pairing, first of all. Secondly, in my notes, I had written, will probably prefer the turf. So he's going to get to do it. I like him sprinting. He's very much a sprinter. I'm just hoping Bobby has him ready off of the layoff, but I have faith with Maroc. So that's your Paddock Insider for today. Guys, back to you.
Little Johnny V action with Bob Barbera and Maroc tail the cat, second-time starter on the turf, 72,000 plus in that pick 6 carryover. The Mig and I will say goodnight, but we'll see you tomorrow right here on MSG Plus.